So big!
Hi library friends, it's me, Miss Cat. Welcome back to So Big. This week we're going to be talking about planting seeds and planting gardens. Because you know what? It's planting time. Hello, how are you? Let's sing our hello, how are you song. Hello, 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 how are you? Hello, 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 how are you? I'm good, I'm great, I'm wonderful. I'm good, I'm great, I'm wonderful. I hope that you're good, or better, great, or wonderful. We have a story today about spring and planting, but let's get our wiggles out first. Ready? I wiggle my fingers, I wiggle my toes, I wiggle my shoulders, I wiggle my nose. Now no more wiggles are left in me. I'm as still can be. Our first story today is called And Then It's Spring by Julie Fagliano, and Erin Steed made the pictures. And then it's spring. First you have brown. All around you have brown. The grass is not green yet. The leaves are not growing on the trees yet. Then there are seeds. He's planting his seed. And a wish for rain. And then it rains. Seeds need rain to grow. And it is still brown, but a hopeful, very possible sort of brown. Here is his garden with his seeds, but nothing's happening yet. And is that a little green? No, it's just sort of brown. Nothing happening. Then it is a week. Looks like he's planting more seeds. And you worry about those little seeds. And if maybe it was the birds. Do you think the birds are eating the seeds and that's why they are not coming up? Or maybe it was the bears and all that stomping, because bears can't read signs that say things like, please do not stomp here. There are seeds and they are trying. Oh, I don't think it's the bears. And then it is one more week. He has sprouts yet? And the brown is still brown. It has a greenish hum that you can hear if you put your ear to the ground and close your eyes. Look at all the things happening under the ground. These are little worm tunnels. Do you see the worm? And this looks like little ant trails and an ant hill. And here's a little mouse tunnel. Whoop, there's a little mouse. A lot of things are happening underground. And then it is one more week. And a sunny day. That sunny day that happens right after that rainy day. He's waiting on his tire swing. When will his seeds sprout? and you walk outside and check on all that brown. But the brown isn't around, and now you have green. All around you have green. Look, the grass turned green. And do you see all the little sprouts next to the little parts of the garden where he planted seeds? See some seedlings here and some seedlings there. His garden is starting to sprout. The end. Did you know that most plants start as a seed? And when that seed gets some soil and some water and some sunshine, a magical thing happens. It's called germination. Can you say germination? That's a big word. Good. When seeds germinate, it just means they start to grow because they have the things they need: soil, water, and sun. I have a little poem I'd like to do with you called The Tiny Seed. It's a finger poem because we use our fingers when we say this poem. In this poem, we talk about all the different things a seed needs to grow or to germinate. It's called The Tiny Seed. You can do it with me. I had a little tiny seed and I put it in the ground. I spread a little soil on top and patted it all around. The sun came up and kept it warm, and the rain gave it a shower. And my seed grew up and up and up, and now it is a flower. Let's do that again. And when we do it this time, think about the things that a seed needs to grow: soil, water or rain, and sunshine. Ready? I had a little tiny seed. I put it in the ground. I spread a little soil on top and patted it all around. The sun came up and kept it warm, and the rain gave it a shower. And my seed grew up and up and up, and now it is a flower. I have another story about a seed that's starting to grow. It's called One Bean. And at the very end of this video, I'm going to show you how we're going to plant some seeds, including a bean seed, and watch them grow. This story, One Bean, is by Anne Rockwell, and Megan Halsey did the pictures. One bean. I had one bean. It was dry and smooth and hard. That's also a seed. I put it on a wet paper towel. I covered it with another wet paper towel. Soon its skin had turned all wrinkly. See the wrinkly skin? My bean had gotten fatter too. I think it got too fat for its skin because the skin split. This meant it was time to plant my bean. I filled a paper cup with black potting soil. Then I laid my fat, wrinkly bean in the cup and covered it with soil. I watered it when the soil was dry. Even though I couldn't see my bean hidden under the damp black soil, I watched for it every day. It's in the windowsill so it can get some sun too, because seeds need sun to sprout. Then one day, just like in the story of Jack and the Beanstalk, something wonderful happened. A greenish-white stalk poked up from the soil. My bean was dangling from the end of it. It's starting to germinate. Germinate is the word we use to say when seeds start growing. Soon 2 leaves grew on my bean plant. These were shaped like Valentine hearts. More green heart-shaped leaves sprouted. My bean plant grew bigger and bigger. It needed a bigger place to live and grow. See how it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger? I filled a flower pot with potting soil and very gently, very carefully, I took my one bean with its bright green leaves and roots spreading through black, moist soil out of the paper cup. I planted it in the flower pot where it could stay. This is soil, and here's the flower pot. Sunshine shone on it and made my bean plant grow some more. Look how tall it is now. One day I saw lots of little green bumps on my bean plant. Those little green bumps were buds. Do you see the little green buds? The buds burst open and lots of white flowers blossomed among the green leaves. Look at all the white flowers. When the white flowers fell off, tiny bean pods hung in their place. Before long, there were lots of bean pods growing on my beautiful bean plant. Look, it's a string bean plant. Those tiny bean pods grew bigger. One day I picked one. I split it open and looked inside. What do you think I saw? Look. I saw some smooth and shiny beans shaped just like the one bean that had started it all. So when you open up the bean, there are more bean seeds inside to make more bean plants. I picked a few pods and ate the beans that grew inside them, and they were very good. Beans are very good. The end. Did you know that every part of the plant has a job? I'm going to show you my mini greenhouse. You're going to make one of these later. Do you see my mini greenhouse? I have a plant that started here. It started out as a seed. You can still see some of the seed. And there are these little white hairy looking things on the bottom. Do you see those? Those are called roots. The roots hold the plant in the ground, but they also drink up water. Do you see the roots? And the rest of the plant needs water. So when the rain falls or when you water a plant with a watering can, those roots will drink up the water from the soil. This is the soil right here. And then the next part of the plant is the stem. The stem holds, do you see the stem right here? It's the long, tall, straight part. That holds the plant up, and it also brings the water from the roots up to the leaves, like a straw. Up goes the water. And then the next part of the plant is called the leaf. These are the things that we usually see on our plants coming out of the ground. They're growing so tall, they're growing right out of the mini greenhouse. The leaves soak in the rays of the sun and make food for the rest of the plant. They're like little food factories. And then I don't have one here, but plants also make flowers. Here is a picture of a flower right here. You see? There's the stem and the leaves and the flower part. And I want to show you something else about a flower. These pictures are from a book called From Seed to Flower by Steven Anderson with pictures by Marian Prworski. This flower let's see if I can get it close. Do you see the flower? There's a honeybee on there. The honeybee flies from flower to flower. And there's some sweet nectar in the middle of the flowers that the honeybees like to eat. But they also have in the middle of the flower a little bit of like a powder, almost like a yellowy powder called pollen. And the bees get the pollen stuck to their legs. And then when they fly from flower to flower, the pollen spreads around. And the pollen, when it's spread from flower to flower, help fruits and vegetables form. So bees are very important. Flowers are very colorful and they attract the bees. Colorful flowers mean lots of bees. And butterflies too, and sometimes even birds. They all help to spread pollen and help fruits and vegetables grow. So flowers have a very important job. And when the flower turns into a fruit or vegetable, inside that fruit or vegetable are new tiny seeds to make new plants. So you see, the parts of plants have very important jobs. I have a song about the parts of plants and why they're important. It goes to the tune of The Muffin Man. Do you know the song The Muffin Man? Do you know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man? Yep, that's the song, but we're going to change the words a little bit. It's called Do You Know the Parts of Plants? And we're going to use our mini greenhouse to talk about each or sing about each part. Do you know the parts of plants, the parts of plants, the parts of plants? Do you know the parts of plants that help them grow and grow? Okay, now we're going to sing about the roots. The roots, they hold the plant in the ground. When the wind blows around, roots hold it down. The roots, they hold the plant in the ground and drink up water too. Okay, now the stem. The stem moves water up the plant, up the plant, up the plant. The stem moves water up the plant and brings it to the leaves. The leaves soak up the rays of the sun, the rays of the sun, the rays of the sun. The leaves soak up the rays of the sun and help the plant make food. Now we don't have a flower here, but let's pretend. The flower grows into a fruit. Flowers wave in the breeze and attract the bees. The flowers grow into a fruit which holds new tiny seeds. Do you know the parts of plants, the parts of plants, the parts of plants? Do you know the parts of plants that help them grow and grow? Well, you can answer that question now. Yes, because you do know the parts of plants that help them grow and grow. So pretty soon you're going to be thinking about planting a garden, and you're going to need some seeds. This is a package of cucumber seeds. Do you want to see how they look? They start off very tiny. Can you see those? Super tiny seeds, and these tiny seeds are going to grow into, cucumbers. Here's a cucumber. This is a little baby one. You might grow other things in a garden too, like, let's see. Maybe you'll grow peppers in a garden. Or maybe you'll grow zucchini in a garden. Some people might even grow some, what is this? Lettuce. You might grow lettuce in your garden. I have a song about planting a garden. It's called This Is the Way We Plant Our Garden. So the first thing you have to do when you plant your garden is you have to rake the soil. Can you make a rake with your hands and rake the soil? This is the way we rake the soil. Like that. Good. We have to loosen up the soil and get it ready for the seeds. This is the way we plant our seeds. To drop the seeds in the ground. And now we have to water our seeds and water our little sprouts, the first little leaves that come out of the ground. And the rain usually does that job, but sometimes if there's not enough rain, we have to water them ourselves. So you might use a hose or maybe a watering can like this. So when we water, see how I tilt it to get water out? So if I'm going to water my sprouts, we're going to water like that. Can you pretend to water with a watering can? This is the way we water our sprouts. Good. And then sometimes in your garden you get weeds, which are pesky plants that we don't want in our garden. So we have to pull the weeds. Can you pull the weeds out and throw them away? This is the way we pull the weeds growing in our garden. And then we have to smell the flowers. This is the way we smell the flowers. If you grow a garden and you have some flower plants in there, you can smell them when they bloom. Can you smell the flowers? Mine smells delicious. How does yours smell? Sweet? And then if we grow some veggies, like I showed you, we have to pick the veggies and put them in our basket. Can you pick some veggies and put them in your basket? Good. Okay, let's try it. It goes to the tune of the mulberry bush. Here we go around the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush. Good. We're going to use that tune, but with our own words. This is the way we rake the soil, rake the soil, rake the soil. This is the way we rake the soil when we plant our garden. Good. Now we're going to plant the seeds. This is the way we plant the seeds, plant the seeds, plant the seeds. This is the way we plant the seeds when we plant our garden. Now get ready to water. This is the way we water the sprouts, water the sprouts, water the sprouts. This is the way we water the sprouts growing in our garden. And now what do we have to do? Pull those nasty weeds. This is the way we pull the weeds, pull the weeds, pull the weeds. This is the way we pull the weeds working in our garden. Sometimes weeding the garden is hard work. Whew. Okay, but now we get to smell our beautiful flowers. This is the way we smell the flowers. Smell the flowers. Smell the flowers. This is the way we smell the flowers growing in our garden. And now we're going to pick our veggies and put them in our basket. This is the way we pick our veggies, pick our veggies, pick our veggies. This is the way we pick our veggies growing in our garden. Good job. Let's sing it again. This is the way we rake the soil, rake the soil, rake the soil. This is the way we rake the soil when we plant our garden. This is the way we plant the seeds, plant the seeds, plant the seeds. This is the way we plant the seeds when we plant our garden. This is the way we water the sprouts, water the sprouts, water the sprouts. This is the way we water the sprouts growing in our garden. Pull those weeds. This is the way we pull the weeds, pull the weeds, pull the weeds. This is the way we pull the weeds working in our garden. This is the way we smell the flowers, smell the flowers, smell the flowers. This is the way we smell the flowers growing in our garden. This is the way we pick the veggies, pick the veggies, pick the veggies. This is the way we pick the veggies growing in our garden. Great job! Okay, for our last song, we're going to sing the Happy Feelings song that we sang in March for our Feelings So Bigs. But it's such a happy song and it's a great way to end So Big. So we're going to sing Happy Feeling, and it goes to the tune of the wheels on the bus. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our heart beat. Can you find your heart? Oh, mine's over here. Can you find your heart? And make it beat? Good. Okay. I've got that happy feeling here in my heart, here in my heart, here in my heart. I've got that happy feeling here in my heart to stay. And now you got that happy feeling in your feet. I've got that happy feeling down in my feet, down in my feet, down in my feet. I got that happy feeling down in my feet to stay. And now show me happy hands. I've got that happy feeling here in my hands, here in my hands, here in my hands. I've got that happy feeling here in my hands to stay. And now all over me. I've got that happy feeling all over me, all over me, all over me. I've got that happy feeling all over me to stay. Very good. Okay, everybody. Now it's time to make our mini greenhouse together. This is going to be so great. Come with me and I'll show you how. Here are all the supplies you have in your kit to make your mini greenhouse. Before you start, you need to add a little water to the bag of soil to make it moist. After adding the water, close the bag back up and squish the soil in the bag to make sure all the soil gets a little wet. Now you're ready to plant. Open the CD case and fill with about 2 inches of soil. You're going to put it on the opposite side of the hinge. Put enough soil to cover, but not too much, or you won't be able to close the door on your mini greenhouse. Just like that. Now let's plant our seeds. Here is a bean seed, just like from our story, One Bean. This will be a string bean plant. What do you think this seed will grow into? It will be a cucumber plant. Look at this very tiny seed. Do you see it? This is a radish seed. Any extra seeds you have, you can plant in a little pot or even outside when it's warm enough. After planting your seeds, close the cover of your mini greenhouse. Place it on the clear stand and rubber band both together so it stands up. Now put it in a sunny window and wait for the magic to happen. When the soil starts to dry out, you can use the pipette from your kit to squeeze some water into the open crack at the top of your mini greenhouse. I can't wait to see how your mini greenhouses turn out. My mini greenhouse has a really big plant. I actually have to take it out now and put it in a pot because do you see how it's at the top of my greenhouse? It's too big. It outgrew my greenhouse. Well, everybody, So Big is over for today. Join me next time when we sing more songs about planting and seeds and flowers. And the next time we're going to have a fun craft project where we're going to be painting pots and planting seeds. Have a great week. Bye, friends.